How to get your crush to notice you. Hi guys, my name is Christine Loveridge and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about how to get your crush to notice you with basically minimal effort on your part. So minimal talking and minimal having to do something like some kind of grand gesture. So before we get into this video, please do leave a like on it and please do subscribe, as that really does help my channel out. Thank you so much. So one of the basic things that you can do to get a girl to notice you, to get your crush to notice you, and without actually having to do that much, is to, especially if you're an extroverted person. So I'll go into what an introverted person can do later, but if you're extroverted, then you can really use that to your advantage. I'm someone who personally wasn't very extroverted. I'm naturally an introvert, but as time progressed and as I grew up, I started to become more extroverted. So if you are introverted, these might help you as well to become more extroverted and to get that side of you out of you a little bit better. So I want to give you an example and of what made me really like certain people in different environments I've been in. So for example, I used to work in a warehouse and there was like a janitor there, and he probably was the least paid person there, this janitor cleaner person. But yet he was the most happiest, and everybody really loved it when he would come in and start tidying things up because of how he was. And it wasn't like an attraction thing, obviously, that everyone, including myself, liked about him. It was the fact that he was just so happy and loved doing what he was doing. And he always made time to talk to you, like he knew everybody's names. He was, just really, really happy to be there. And that's why people really, really liked him. And there was probably a few women there who thought he was attractive, or a few guys, depending on the sexuality, right? But that's what made him really interesting, and that's what made everybody just like him in general, was this infectious impersonality of where he would always know everyone's names. He wanted to talk to everybody. He was always saying good morning, really happy smile on his face. Everybody loved that guy, and everybody loved it when he would come in and start cleaning, because it just uplifted the whole room and the whole environment, and everyone was always felt really happy after he'd been. It was kind of like a dose of happiness, right? A little ray of sunshine that just made the day better, and then everyone was in a good mood afterwards. And it was all because just how nice this person was, and how happy he was, and how much he enjoyed what he was doing. So that's something that you can also adopt. So this is something that I adopted as well. I like to notice things in people, and I look at things in people very carefully as to why people like that certain kind of person and why people like or dislike another kind of person. I made an effort to adopt some of the characteristics that he had moving on, and when I moved on from that job. So when I'm at a barbecue or something, or I'm around a big group of people who I have to interact with, or it's like a family event, I try to enjoy myself as much as I can, and to be happy and to be positive and uplifting and help uplift other people. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be eccentric, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a fool. So let's say you're at school and there's always those people in your classroom that are the class clowns, and everybody thinks they're kind of fun, but most of the time they're really annoying, right? And the teachers really get annoyed by them as well. So this was a mistake that I made when I was at school. So I would show off in front of the girls I liked in order to get their attention, but it always backfired on me. Either the teachers started to dislike me, which is something that happened once. I said something to try and impress a girl. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I could just tell the teacher was just getting really annoyed and more progressively annoyed of what I was doing and what I was saying. It wasn't necessarily in class. I think it was time in between class. We was either waiting for the class to start, or it was just some kind of weird time in between classes. But anyway, and I could just see that they started to get annoyed at me, and then I was actually removed from that class into a different class, because I'm pretty sure the reason was that teacher just didn't like me anymore because of how much of an idiot I was being and how much of a fool I was being. So there's a difference there, okay? So even if the person that you're trying to impress finds it funny, you're probably going to lose a lot of other people as well. So you can be happy and you can be positive without being an idiot, right? And that's the kind of thing that this janitor did, right? He was really uplifting, but he wasn't really disturbing us. He wasn't really showing off. He was just really positive and uplifting. And that's what I kind of took from that experience, and from that I saw my past behavior from when I was at school, realized that I was basically a little bit too much, shall we say, and was just very idiotic. But there's a way I can be positive and uplifting and tell jokes without being an idiot, okay? And that's kind of like where the sweet balance comes in. So you don't want to be disruptive. You don't want to be someone who is annoying other people for the sake of trying to impress one person, this one girl, this crush that you have. So instead, just aim to be a positive person in general, be happy with everybody, remember people's names, make an effort to say hello to people and try and brighten their day, but don't do it in a way that it is disruptive and you're showing off and you're being eccentric and looking like an idiot. There was a comment I got a while ago where they said that whenever they were near their crush, they would like snap their fingers to get their attention, and they said it was like their signature thing to do or something. And I thought that was kind of strange. Like, well, if you click your fingers, of course your crush is going to look at you because you're clicking your fingers. People, if there's like a loud noise, we tend to look at where it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're looking at you for the right reasons. They might be looking at you because, oh, you just did something kind of strange and out of character to what the norm is, right? So don't go down any of those kinds of routes. That's kind of like a pickup artist trick. And another kind of pickup artist trick that you should avoid is kind of, I call it peacocking. I don't really know what everyone else calls it, but it's basically where you see like people at clubs. It's usually guys, and they have like a curiosity on them. So it might be like a peacock feather coming, or a strange hat, or like a really weird coat. And basically what it's doing is it's trying to attract the attention of girls by appearing different. But really, if you don't have the personality to match doing something like that, basically the girl's going to see right through it. Your crush is going to see right through it because you're just doing it as like a persona and it's not actually really you. And they'll be able to, whiff that out basically. They'll be able to sense that. They might not sense it straight away, but they will eventually. Also, like with pickup artists as well, they always give like they've got all these lines that are really good for like to get a girl basically to get laid or whatever, but those kinds of things don't last long. Those relationships don't last long because eventually the pickup artist runs out of catchy lines and then the relationship dissipates, and that's usually when the pickup artist gets insecure again and starts chasing the girl too much and falling back on their old bad habits, which is why they started learning pickup artistry in the first place. So it's better to be yourself when you are around your crush, but there are things that you can do to tweak your personality to work in your favor. So being positive and uplifting and being someone that's always nice to people is obviously like, basically being like a ray of sunshine, like what that janitor was, is a good way that you can do that without being disingenuous. Because basically this janitor guy was getting attention for all of the right reasons because he was just a genuine, nice person that made everyone feel happy. And maybe you can do that. I mean, that's what I've tried to adopt into my own life. Just try to be someone who makes people happy, or is just really positive and uplifting, that kind of thing, without being a douche, without being disruptive. So what if that makes you feel really scared and you're very, very introverted and you're not quite ready to take a big step and change that part of your personality, and you want to be able to attract someone like your crush without having to do much. So if you are someone that's introverted, then the best thing probably for you to do, if you don't really like talking and stuff, is to be someone that is really dependable and basically useful. Someone who is competent. Kind of like being the Rock, I guess you could say. Not the Rock as in like Dwayne Johnson, but being the Rock, being someone that people can depend on, and having that kind of attitude. Now, this doesn't mean that you become someone who is always there for a handkerchief, right, and for your crush because they're upset about an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend or whatever. And it doesn't mean that you become like a simp. That's the popular term these days, or be a good friend, basically. Because that obviously causes you to actually have to do something. So if you know this person at work or at school, then just be very, very helpful within that environment and show and prove that you are a competent person. So, you're helping people out, not necessarily just your crush, but everybody. Because if you start giving your crush special treatment, that kind of thing might actually backfire on you, because they'll be able to tell that you're kind of doing these things in order to get something out of them, which is like a relationship or something. And they'll be able to tell that. So if you're just dependable with everybody, you're more likely to get their attention, because they'll be able to sense that you have this strength about you, this dependability, this air of competence. And that's really, really attractive. You can also use the being positive and lighthearted and fun, like with this first scenario I gave you. But you don't have to do it around your crush. You can just do it around your friends, and then perhaps they might be able to see that from a distance. So let's say, for example, you're at work and you're always hanging out and doing your work with your group, with your friends, your co-workers who you get along with the most. In that sense, then you can be really happy and positive around them. And then your crush will probably have the sense that you guys, or you girls or whatever, are always having a great time, and always, even though you're getting on with your work, because remember, you've got to be competent and dependable at your job if this is a work environment. But they can also see that you're actually enjoying the process and that you're fun to work with. Then they'll probably want to come and approach you. So it's the same when you're at school as well. When you're with your friends, obviously don't be disruptive to the class, but enjoy yourselves, right? And when it's lunchtime, always look like you're having fun, having a good time. And if it looks like you're having real good fun, and you and your friends are having a great time, that's going to make the girls or your crush want to join in, because we all want to be around people that are having the best time, who seem to be having the most fun, because we obviously want to be a part of that. Why wouldn't anyone want to be a part of the group that looks like they're having the most fun? So that's something else that you can do as well. So you don't actually have to approach your crush. Now, if you are extroverted, then yeah, sure, you can approach your crush. And maybe if you're bold enough, you can actually just do the thing and ask her out, right? Or ask him out. And that's the best way you can probably get your crush to want to be friends with you, want to put themselves in your orbit. It might not necessarily get them to be attracted to you, because attraction isn't a choice. That's a quote by David D'Angelo. So if they have attraction for you, then they should want to approach you and probably talk to you, and perhaps they'll start flirting with you. But if they're not attracted to you, then it's not likely that's going to happen. Or it could be a case where they're too shy, they're more shyer than you, basically. So you have to actually, if they're more shy than you and you can tell that your crush is shy, then you need to really start making a move, because if you both don't make a move and you're both shy, nothing's going to happen. So one of you has to start taking action. And considering you're the one who's looking for the advice and you're the one who's looking up this video, I suggest that the person who makes the move is actually you. Please go to www.christineloveridge.com/shop to get some coaching with me if you like coaching. There's also a dating manual on there, a free PDF download that you can get. Also, just on www.christineloveridge.com. There's lots of articles and other free resources, and obviously here on this YouTube channel, there's plenty of videos that you can watch to help you with your personal development, with dating and relationship advice. I hope this video has helped you, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.